How you doing? So welcome back. It is the morning after the day before, the morning after the epic enduro. So I just wanted to give you a run through on my bike, my kit, and what I ate and drank through the day. Because yeah, maybe you might find it interesting. You know, it kind of I set everything up to last a long time and be comfortable. So it's kind of, yeah, I think it's similar to what you guys at home want from a bike and your setup. So yeah, hopefully you find some useful tips in here. To begin with, the bike, it was my Ibis HD6 size 3. Didn't change a whole lot on the setup because for EDO racing anyway, you want the bike to be sturdy. You know, it needs to last, and I think bikes are so good now as well that they last quite well anyway. But I did change some details that could be interesting. So for tyres, I ran the Continental Crypto Tal front and rear, downhill casing, super soft. I had a Trail Cush core in the back and an XC Cush core in the front. Both for keeps the bike nice and calm on the rough rocky stuff, and it also security. If you get a puncture, you can still ride surprisingly well to the bottom of the stage and then fix it. I ran 21 psi in the front, 23 psi in the rear. Wheels, I ran the Silt DH wheels, just for a bit of security. You know, I've been switching between the enduro and the downhill wheels, and just for this race, you know, there wasn't as much time to, you know, retension wheels or whatever in case you needed to. So I just went for the option that was going to be the least chance of needing maintenance. Brakes, I'm running the Hayes Dominion A4s. I've got sintered pads in there, which I run most of the time. They've got a nice strong bite, really consistent. Don't seem to heat up too much. So yeah, really happy with them. I ran them last year as well. So this year there was kind of something I wanted to keep on the bike because I was so comfortable with them. And 200mm rotors. They're 2mm thick rotors, which is pretty standard these days now. Suspension, I had RockShox Zeb in the front, Vivid on the back, and that was something I did change, so I softened that quite a bit. Like normally I would run 71 psi in the front, 215 in the back, which is about 23% sag, and I dropped to 66 in the front and 205 in the back, which is about 28% sag. So yeah, like with the tracks here, they were kind of slow and technical, I would say, and not so many big hits, so you could really favour having comfort and sacrifice a bit of big hit support. And that was really good, you know, kind of took the pressure off my body on some of the longer stages, which was class. I ran the compression, high speed fully open, low speed I had 4 clicks from fully open. On the rear, low speed compression in the middle, high speed compression fully open, 2 clicks of HBO. Both front and rear are 9 clicks of rebound. Seat post around the Wolf Tooth Resolve dropper, 200mm. Again, that's just something you don't need to worry about. It's self-bleeding, so if you have any issues, any air gets in the system during the day, it just bleeds itself, so that problem is deleted. Cockpit, where we're in the cast stuff, which I can't tell you much about, but it's really good. So yeah, for transmission, I've got a bit of a mix on. This is my training bike, so it's what I've been running all winter, which is a fair testament that it's been running all winter and it's still running now even after an event like that. So I've got a GX rear mech, full SRAM Axis T-type transmission. GX rear mech, which took some good whacks yesterday and didn't even flinch, so that's very impressive. XO chain and cassette and a 32 tooth Wolf Tooth drop stop chainring. I debated switching to a 30 just to be able to spin a bit more on the climbs, but 32 is what I always use, and I was kind of afraid if I went to a smaller chainring I'd maybe move too slow on the climbs. Whereas 32 just kind of makes you keep a certain pace. Pedals, crank butters, mallet E. And then I have up here the Wolf Tooth frame strap. This bolts into the frame. The Ibis has like 2 mounts under the top tube. So I have a tube. I had 2 CO2s, but I gave one away. Albon, who won the race, needed a CO2, so that went there. And this one has a nifty Dynaplug on it, so it's a tyre plug that also inflates the tyre. So it's quite good if you do get a puncture in the moment. It's a quick fix. Saddle, STG Bel Air. Been sitting on one of these for quite a few years now, so it's comfortable. I know it. I know that I can do a big day on it, and it's not going to cause me any issues. So, mint. And then up front, we had the light mounted. The first 2 stages were actually in the dark, so I had 1 light on the bars, 1 on the helmet under the visor, which was great. Visibility was difficult in the race, but that was a weather thing. I think the light setup was good. And then finally, I had the Garmin Edge 840 Solar, which was really good. I wouldn't normally rate. Normally, I just race with the watch on the wrist, just to tell time of day. But in a race like this, I did want more stats. So I had, when I was riding, my screen just told me my heart rate and my power and my lap time. So like each climb I would just, I'm average lap power, sorry. So each climb I would lap that, and I could just have a target power that I wanted to climb at, which is about like 200, 220 watts. And I knew then I was kind of getting up the hills at a good speed, but not overdoing it either. So that was really good. And I also had the course loaded on there, so I could flick screens and check the climb, check what was left, check how steep it was, what was ahead, which was cool. It's nice for peace of mind, just even to see like ascent remaining on each climb and kind of trickle down as you go. For the mudguard, I ran the Big Dog Rapid Racer Products ProGuard V2. It was wet in the morning, so I just committed and put on the big one, and it's quite good for keeping the rest of the bike clean as well. And it kept like my goggles, I didn't have to wipe my goggles all day. Jersey stayed fairly clean as well. So that was mint. I'd rather have extra than less. Yeah, overall really impressed with the bike, I have to say, because the abuse it took all day yesterday, like every track was so gnarly, so rocky. Like I checked the bike through the day, did a bolt check, and nothing came loose. So really impressed. Like the course was really, really demanding on the bike and didn't skip a beat. So yeah, really happy with that. And for what I wore, it was actually quite similar to what I would normally wear in an EDR. So it was standard. I wore full face Leatt 4.0 gravity. I debated about having a removable chin guard helmet, but I'm just so used to wearing this helmet, and it's so ventilated anyway. I didn't really feel the need to have anything else. So yeah, went with that. The MTB 4.0 goggles, which are nice and light, easy to carry. And for carrying them, actually, little hack, I use this waterproof bag, which is really handy because if it's wet, you keep tissue in there, goggle bag in there. At the bottom of the stage, you put your goggles straight in there and they stay pretty dry. You have the best chance of keeping them dry and keeping them good. So that was sweet, especially because it was wet and misty in the morning. When it's misty, it's so hard to keep goggles good. So yeah, would recommend that. Airflex Pro knee pads, 4.0 jersey. It's nice and lightweight, which is really good. 2.0 pants, Leatt again, which really lightweight. I debated with shorts, but those pants are so comfortable. I was happy enough with them. And the tracks are quite gnarly and rocky, so sometimes when I wear shorts, I feel a bit exposed, having my legs out. So pants were nice. First loop, I wore a jacket, which is a 2.0 Leatt jacket, and then I stuffed it in a bag for a couple of stages as well. Yeah, and then Crank Brothers Mallet Trail Boa new shoes, which were mint. There's quite a lot of hiking, and these have a good sole for hiking, good grip, so that was good. And then I wore a Camelback Chase vest. This was key. Obviously, this was a very busy bag all day, so I had all my snacks in here, and then when I came back after each loop, I had one of these bags with the food I needed for the next loop. So I had them marked number 2 and number 3 for each loop. In the back of the bag, I had kind of things I might need, but not things I need quickly. So like we had some extra food in here, some extra electrolytes, tools, I like the wolf tooth tools. So this is like chain breaker, tire plug, all your Allen keys, chain splitter tool for the power link, tire lever, spoke key, like everything is on these tools. So literally any problem you have with the bike, that tool will cover it, which is really good. And in there I also had an emergency blanket and a whistle, which was mandatory for the race, which is quite good actually, because in a lot of enduros you're pretty out in the wild, so if an accident does happen, it's good to be prepared. So yeah, that'll stay in the bag anyway now. And then I had another waterproof bag, which I had some spares in. So in here I had the ultimate repair kit, zip ties, duct tape. If you can't fix it with them, you probably can't fix it. Spare Cushcore valve in case, you never know, a rock might ping up and hit your valve. Spare brake pads. Sometimes, yeah, when it's quite gritty and sandy, it can kill your pads quicker than you expect, so good to have, or contamination as well. Shifter battery, derailleur battery. I had a power link in my wolf tooth tool. There's a compartment for that. Little shifter paddle buttons as well. And a random selection of just spacers and bolts in case anything falls off the bike during the day. So yeah, I didn't have to use any of this, but I think I was pretty covered for most eventualities, which was good. So that little bag is handy. That'll live in the backpack now as well. So then in terms of nutrition and hydration, backpack was big for that. So fill this every loop, 1.5 litres in there with 2 Precision Fuel and Hydration pH 15 electrolyte tablets, which also have 500 milligrams of sodium per 500 ml of water. So yeah, there was quite a lot of water going in, and on the bottle I had 750 ml bottle with 60 grams of carbs in there as well. So then any food I needed, I just had in these pockets, which was mint. So like I'd have in here, I had one of the big precision fuel gels, which is 90 grams of carbs. So I worked it out before what I would need, and I was aiming for 70 grams of carbs per hour, which is kind of pretty standard, I would think. But well, pretty standard for if you eat quite a lot on the bike and you're doing quite high intensity. So I had worked out how much I would need, and I actually needed a bit more than that because the intensity of the race was higher than expected. I thought we were just going to be racing like pretty chill, but we weren't. It was full on racing every stage, so the intensity was really high. So in here, yeah, I had mostly precision fuel gels and these little chews, which are class again. They're 30 grams, the gels are 30 grams as well, so it's quite easy to measure how much you're putting in when each one is 30. Like you have 2 of these an hour plus a bit of your water bottle, and that's your 70 grams. So I was having that plus some sodium tablets for salt to avoid cramp. There's 2 left in there, which I didn't have. But yeah, sodium is big important. You know, you need to drink a lot of water, but you also need to be putting the salts back in. So yeah, that was really good. And then I had a can of Red Bull before the first loop and one before the third loop, which was savage, lifesaver. Really picks you up when you need it. So yeah, and then one that I put on Instagram, a picture of my food before the thing, and the Fisherman's Friends were in there, and people, like a lot of people asking me why. This is a serious little life hack. You don't, like, underrated, very underrated. It's on a long day like that when you're tired and feeling sluggish, a nice mint just opens you up, gets you full of air, lets you feel, it refreshes you, makes you feel refreshed. There you go, that's my full setup, everything I did yesterday for the Epic Enduro. It was a massive day out, massively demanding, and yeah, it definitely was a good chance to learn about bike, nutrition, everything. So yeah, hopefully I covered everything in this video. If there's anything else you want to know, any other questions, comment below, I'll be happy to reply. We're going to be trying to do more videos this year. Thomas is going to be with me, the man making these videos come to you. So subscribe, let us know what you want to see as well, and we'll see you at the next one.